Come, sit with me. You don't need to hide what you're feeling. I see it, that fire that burns beneath your skin, that weight that presses against your chest. Your anger is real. Your frustration is valid. And today, I want you to know that you don't have to carry it alone. I'm here. I've always been here, waiting for you to let me close enough to hold what's breaking you. You know, when I walked this earth, I understood anger in ways that many forget. People think I was only gentle, only soft-spoken, but I overturned tables in the temple. I wept with fury at injustice. I felt the sting of betrayal, the weight of watching people suffer when they didn't deserve to. So when you come to me with your anger, don't apologize. Don't soften it. Bring it to me exactly as it is. I can hold that as easily as I hold your sadness. Let me tell you about someone like you. Her name is Maria, and she spent 3 years furious. She was angry at God, angry at herself, angry at a system that had robbed her of her dreams. Maria had worked her entire life to become a teacher. She sacrificed vacations, relationships, stability, everything to earn her degree and certifications. She was hired by a school, celebrated, given her classroom of her own. And then, halfway through her first year, budget cuts came. The entire department was eliminated. She was let go along with 17 other teachers, many of whom had dedicated decades to their work. Maria came home that day and did what she hadn't done in years. She screamed, she threw things, she wept until her voice was gone. And for weeks, she couldn't stop the anger. It colored everything. She snapped at her family. She saw injustice everywhere, because there was injustice everywhere. And she asked me over and over, "Why did you let this happen? Why is the world so unfair?" I didn't answer with explanations. I answered with presence. And slowly, as she learned to let her anger exist without shame, something shifted. You see, anger isn't the enemy. Unprocessed anger, anger that festers in silence, anger that turns inward, that's where the real damage lives. But anger that is felt, named, and brought into the light, that anger can become something powerful. It can become justice. It can become change. It can become love. Listen to what the Psalms tell you, because those ancient songs were written by people just like you, people who were furious. I pour out before him my complaint, before him I tell my trouble. Psalm 142 verse 2. The psalmist didn't hide. He didn't pretend everything was fine. He brought his whole messy, angry self before God and said, "This is what's happening to me. This is what I feel. This is what I need you to know." And God listened. God listened to his anger without judgment. There's another person I want to tell you about. His name is David. Not me, but a man who lived before I came. He was a king, and people expected him to be calm, collected, always in control. But when his city was attacked and his family was taken captive, David wrote, "O God, the nations have come into your inheritance. They have defiled your holy temple. They have laid Jerusalem in ruins. They have given the bodies of your servants to the birds of the heavens, the flesh of your faithful to the beasts of the earth. They have poured out their blood like water all around Jerusalem, and there is no one to bury them. We have become a taunt to our neighbors, mocked and derided by those around us. How long, O Lord, will you be angry forever? Will your jealousy burn like fire? Pour out your anger on the nations that do not know you, and on the kingdoms that do not call upon your name." David was devastated. He was crying out with every ounce of his being. He was asking God to destroy his enemies. And this prayer was preserved. It was canonized. It was kept and passed down because God wanted people to know it's okay to feel this deeply. It's okay to ask for justice. It's okay to be angry. But here's what I want you to understand. Your anger often carries a message. It's not random. It's not a character flaw. Your anger is telling you something is wrong. Someone has been hurt. A boundary has been crossed. An injustice has been committed. Listen to what your anger is trying to tell you. Take Marcus, for instance. Marcus had a good job, a good life, but his boss, a man he'd trusted for 5 years, took credit for Marcus's work, not just once, but repeatedly. Ideas that Marcus had developed, projects that Marcus had led, accomplishments that Marcus had sacrificed time with his family to achieve, all of it was presented to upper management as the boss's own work. Marcus felt the anger rising like a tsunami, and for weeks he tried to ignore it. He told himself he was being petty. He told himself it didn't matter. He tried to be the bigger person, but his body knew better. He couldn't sleep. His heart raced. He felt a constant tension in his shoulders and neck. His relationship suffered. He was short with his children, distant from his wife. And when Marcus finally allowed himself to feel the anger, when he stopped fighting it and said, "Yes, I am angry, and I have a right to be angry," something changed. The anger stopped being a destructive force that consumed him from the inside. It became clarity. It told him what he needed to do. It told him he needed to document his work. It told him he needed to speak up, not in rage, but in truth. It told him that he deserved better. And Marcus, with that clarity, found his power again. That's what your anger can do for you if you let it serve its purpose, instead of being ashamed of it. Here's what I need you to hear in this moment. Your anger doesn't disqualify you from being loved. It doesn't make you less worthy of grace. It doesn't push me away. If anything, it draws me closer, because I see in your anger the mark of someone who knows right from wrong, who has been wounded by injustice, who refuses to accept brokenness as normal. Those are qualities I cherish. The psalmist says, "Hear a just cause, O Lord. Attend to my cry. Give ear to my prayer from lips free of deceit. From your presence let my vindication come. Let your eyes see the right." This is a prayer of someone who is angry at being wronged, and they're bringing it directly to me. Not to a therapist, not to a support group, though those are good, but directly to the source of all justice. And I hear them. I want you to know something about pain and frustration too, because often anger and frustration travel together. Frustration is anger's quieter cousin. It's the exhaustion that comes when things don't work the way they should. It's the despair that settles in when you've tried and tried and tried and nothing changes. It's the weariness of feeling stuck. Think of Elena. She has a chronic illness. Nobody knows what causes it. She's seen 37 doctors. She's had countless tests. Some days she can barely get out of bed. Elena is not an angry person by nature. She's actually quite gentle, but the frustration nearly destroyed her. Every day was a battle to do things that used to be automatic. Every moment was a reminder of what she'd lost. She was frustrated at her body. She was frustrated at the medical system. She was frustrated at everyone around her who seemed to take their health for granted. And most of all, she was frustrated at me. Why won't you heal me? Why do I have to live like this? Why is there no answer? Elena didn't get the healing she asked for, but she got something else, and it took her months to see it as valuable. She got perspective. She got compassion for herself and for others who suffer. She got the ability to sit with someone else's pain without trying to fix it or explain it away. She learned that frustration, when it's not fought but integrated, that frustration becomes something like humility. The psalmist understood this too. I am weary with my crying out. My throat is dry. My eyes grow dim for waiting for my God. More in number than the hairs of my head are those who hate me without cause. Mighty are those who attack me with lies. What I did not steal, must I now restore? The psalmist is frustrated. His voice is gone. His eyes are tired. He's fighting battles that aren't fair, and he's at the end of his rope. And then, listen to this. He says, "But as for me, my prayer is to you, O Lord, at an acceptable time, O God, in the abundance of your steadfast love, answer me. With your faithful help, rescue me from the mire. Do not let me sink. Let me be rescued from those who hate me." And
that's what I want for you too. I want you to understand that your anger and frustration don't have to be enemies to your faith. They can be prayers. They can be honesty. They can be the beginning of real healing. Because healing can't start with denial. It starts with truth. Let me tell you about James. James was angry at God for 18 years. His daughter died when she was 6 years old. A car accident. Sudden. Senseless. James couldn't process it. He went to church and he heard people say things like, "It was God's plan," or "She's in a better place," and it made him furious. How could it be a plan? How could any plan include taking a child away from her father? James stopped going to church. He stopped praying. He was so angry that he couldn't even look at pictures of his daughter with rage filling his chest. His wife tried to grieve. His other children tried to move forward. But James was stuck in anger, and he thought that was how it would be forever. He thought anger was the only appropriate response to what had happened. 18 years in, James walked into a different church. He went because his wife asked him to, not because he wanted to, and the pastor was talking about lamentation. The pastor said, God didn't just give us happy prayers. God gave us prayers of anger, prayers of grief, prayers that say, this is not okay, and I'm going to tell you that it's not okay. And something in James cracked open. That afternoon, for the first time since his daughter died, James cried. Not angry tears, grief tears. Deep soul-level tears that said goodbye to a little girl. And in the midst of that grief was something surprising. It was almost peaceful. James still misses his daughter. He still thinks about what she would have been like at 18, at 28, but he also discovered that his anger was protecting him from unbearable pain. And once he was brave enough to feel the pain instead, the anger could finally rest. Here's something I want you to know. Anger that never gets to rest becomes bitterness. Frustration that never gets to be expressed becomes depression. These are the real dangers. Not the anger itself, but the anger that gets turned inward, that gets swallowed and suppressed, that festers in silence. So today, I want to invite you to do something brave. I want to invite you to feel your anger fully, without apology. The psalmist says, "Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart." Commit your way to the Lord, trust in Him, and He will act. He will bring forth your righteousness as the light, and your justice as the noonday. This isn't a promise that your anger will be forgotten. This is a promise that if you bring your anger to me, if you trust it to me, I will see the justice that matters. I will see the truth. I will know what you're feeling and why you're feeling it. And then, slowly, something else can happen. Once your anger has been heard, once it's been validated, once you know that I understand completely why you're angry, then you can begin to think about what comes next. Not forgetting, not pretending it's okay, but moving forward. Consider what I'm about to tell you about Trevor. Trevor was angry at his brother for betraying his trust. Trevor had lent his brother money during a crisis, everything he had saved, and his brother promised to repay him. 6 months went by, a year went by, 2 years went by. Trevor's brother stopped answering his calls. The friendship shattered. Trevor was furious. Every time he thought about his brother, anger surged through him. He told everyone what his brother had done. He imagined all the ways his brother would finally understand how he'd hurt him. For 3 years, Trevor was stuck in this anger, and then one day he found out through a mutual friend that his brother had been struggling with addiction. His brother had used the money for drugs. He'd isolated himself because he was ashamed. He was in treatment now, trying to get clean. And Trevor realized something. His brother's actions were still wrong, the money was still gone, the betrayal was still real, but his brother wasn't a villain, he was a suffering person. And Trevor's anger, which had felt so righteous and justified, suddenly felt like it was destroying his own life, while his brother was already being destroyed by his own choices. Trevor didn't immediately forgive, but he did something else. He decided to step away from the anger, not to deny it or suppress it, but to let it rest. He went to therapy, he prayed, he did the work of grieving what he'd lost, not just the money, but the relationship, the trust, the brother he thought he had. And in that grief he found space. Space to one day, when his brother was stronger, have a different conversation. Space to potentially rebuild something, though it would never be what it was. That's not a neat ending, but it's a real one, and it honors both the anger and the possibility of moving beyond it. I want you to understand something about how I work with anger. I don't ask you to suppress it. I don't ask you to meditate it away or positive think it into non-existence. I ask you to feel it, to name it, to bring it to me, and then, and only then, to let me help you find the deeper thing beneath it. Because here's the truth that nobody wants to hear. Anger always sits on top of something else. Beneath the rage is fear. Beneath the frustration is grief. Beneath the fury is heartbreak. The psalmist says it this way, "Why are you cast down, O my soul, and why are you in turmoil within me? Hope in God, for I shall again praise him, my salvation and my God." There's acceptance here that you might be cast down, you might be in turmoil, you might feel lost, but the psalmist isn't staying there forever. He's asking the question, why, and then he's turning toward hope. That's what I'm inviting you to do. Right now, today, in this moment, I want you to breathe. Really breathe. Not the shallow breathing you do when you're anxious or angry, but deep breathing. Breathe in through your nose for a count of 4, hold it for a count of 4, and then breathe out through your mouth for a count of 4. Feel your shoulders drop. Feel your jaw relax. Feel the tension in your neck start to ease. I will steady your hands. You don't have to do this alone. You know, there's a man I want to tell you about. He's not a character in a story, he's real, and his name is Michael. Michael came to see me, or rather he came to a place where he thought he might find me, when he was at the absolute end of his rope. He was angry at everything. He was angry at people who had hurt him. He was angry at circumstances beyond his control. He was angry at himself for not being strong enough to handle it all. And underneath all that anger was despair. Michael didn't think anything could change. He didn't think his anger could ever transform into anything but more anger. He was trapped in a cycle, and he couldn't see a way out. Michael met me with gentleness. I didn't minimize his anger. I didn't tell him to get over it or look on the bright side. I simply sat with him in it. And after a long time of sitting, I asked him one question. What do you need right now? Michael couldn't answer at first. He'd spent so long being angry that he'd forgotten what he actually needed. But as he sat with the question, things began to surface. He needed to know he wasn't alone. He needed to know that his anger was valid. He needed to know that he was still loved, even angry, even broken, even stuck. And once Michael knew those things, once he felt that unconditional love surrounding him, his anger began to shift. Not disappear, shift. It became less about attacking and more about protecting, less about proving people wrong and more about proving to himself that he could survive. That transformation took time. Michael didn't wake up one day and decide his anger was gone, but he learned to live with it differently. He learned that anger and peace could coexist. He learned that you could be furious at injustice and still choose kindness toward a broken person. He learned that frustration with circumstances didn't mean hopelessness about the future. I want that for you too.
Listen to this psalm. Read it slowly. Let it sink in.
O Lord, how long shall I cry for help, and you will not listen, or cry to you violence, and you will not save? Why do you make me see wrongdoing and look at trouble? Destruction and violence are before me. Strife and contention arise. So the law becomes slack, and justice never prevails. The wicked surround the righteous. Therefore judgment comes forth perverted. This is someone who is deeply frustrated. The world doesn't make sense. Justice isn't working. Violence is winning. This person is asking, why? Why isn't God doing something? And then the psalmist answers himself, But I will look to the Lord. I will wait for the God of my salvation. My God will hear me. There's no easy resolution here. The world is still broken. The violence still exists. But the shift is in the psalmist's orientation. He's moving from asking why injustice exists to deciding to look towards something greater than the injustice. He's not denying what's wrong. He's refusing to let what's wrong be the final word. That's what I want for you. Not to pretend your anger doesn't exist, not to bypass your frustration or minimize your pain, but to refuse to let your anger be your entire story. To let anger exist alongside hope. To let frustration exist alongside belief that things can change. Here's what I know about you. You are stronger than you believe. Your anger is not weakness. It's proof that you have standards, that you care about justice, that you refuse to accept brokenness as normal. Those are beautiful, powerful things, but they can exhaust you if you're always in fight mode. So I'm asking you to do something today. I'm asking you to set the anger down, just for a moment, not forever, not permanently, just for right now. Set it down and let me hold it. Let me hold your anger, your frustration, your sense that things should be different. Let me hold all of it while you rest. Because here's the secret that people don't tell you. Rest isn't giving up. Rest isn't accepting what's wrong. Rest is what you need in order to have the clarity and strength to keep fighting for what's right. You can't be your best self, your most just self, if you're constantly burning with rage. But if you let yourself rest, if you let yourself grieve what's been lost, if you let yourself feel the pain beneath the anger, if you let yourself be loved while you're still broken, then you can come back stronger. You can come back clearer. You can come back ready. One more story. There's a woman named Sophia. Sophia had been treated unfairly her entire life. She grew up in poverty. She was overlooked in school. She was discriminated against because of her gender and her race. She had every reason to be angry, and she was. But her anger was eating her alive. It was making her hard. It was pushing people away. It was preventing her from seeing the good things in her life because she was so focused on what's wrong. One day, Sophia did something radical. She went to a grief counselor, not because she wanted to get over her anger. She knew her anger was justified, but because she wanted to understand it better. And in those sessions, Sophia discovered something. Beneath her anger at the systems that had hurt her was a profound grief for the child she had been, the person she could have become if the world had been kinder. Beneath her fury at being overlooked was deep sadness about all the wasted potential, all the doors that were closed to her, all the assumptions people made about her before they even knew her name. Once Sophia allowed herself to grieve, to really grieve, to cry for the injustice of it all, to sit with the deep unfairness, something shifted. Her anger didn't go away, but it became righteous. It became purposeful. It became fuel for her to pursue a degree, to start a nonprofit, to help other people who'd been in situations like hers. Her anger became power. But that power came only after she allowed herself to feel the pain beneath it. I'm telling you these stories because I need you to know you're not alone in this. Every single person who has ever lived has felt anger. Every single person who has ever truly cared about anything has felt frustration. This is not a flaw in you. This is part of being human. This is part of being alive in a world that is not yet fully healed. So here's what I'm asking you to do today. First, I'm asking you to acknowledge your anger. Say it out loud if you need to. I am angry. I am frustrated, and that's okay. Let those words land. Let yourself hear them. Don't minimize. Don't apologize. Don't explain it away. Just acknowledge it. Second, I'm asking you to ask yourself, what is this anger trying to tell me? What boundary has been crossed? What injustice am I witnessing? What loss am I grieving? Listen to the message your anger is sending. Third, I'm asking you to do something with that information. Maybe you need to speak up about something. Maybe you need to make a change. Maybe you need to set a boundary or walk away from a situation. Maybe you need to work toward justice in some form. Let your anger teach you what needs to be done. And finally, I'm asking you to bring what remains to me. Bring me the anger that won't transform into action. Bring me the frustration that has no solution. Bring me the rage at circumstances beyond your control. Bring me all of it, and let me help you hold it. Let me help you process it. Let me help you integrate it so that it's no longer consuming you from the inside. The psalmist says, "Cast all your anxieties on him because he cares for you." And I do care for you. I care about your anger. I care about your pain. I care about your need for justice. I care about the ways you've been hurt. I care about the ways you've hurt others. I care about all of it, the good and the bad and the complicated in between. There's peace available to you, but it's not the kind that requires you to be okay with everything. It's the kind that comes from being truly seen and loved, despite or maybe because of your brokenness and anger. It's the kind that comes from knowing you don't have to carry this alone. It's the kind that comes from bringing your whole self, including your fury, and being told, "I see you, I hear you, I love you anyway." So breathe with me one more time. Feel your shoulders drop. Feel your jaw relax. Notice where you're holding tension in your body and let it ease just a little. You don't have to fix anything today. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to be here, present in your own life, honest about what you're feeling. And know that I'm here too. I'm here in the anger. I'm here in the frustration. I'm here in the tears. I'm here in the questions that have no answers. I'm here in the waiting. I'm here in the slowly beginning again. I'm here. Your anger doesn't disqualify you from being loved. Your frustration doesn't push me away. Your pain doesn't make you less worthy of compassion. You are worthy. You are seen. You are held. And as you move forward from this moment, today, this week, this season of your life, carry this with you. It's okay that you're angry. It's okay that things aren't fair. It's okay to bring your whole self, including your fury, and being told, "I see you, I hear you, I love you anyway."